Hey guys, thanks for joining me. And if you like what you see, please subscribe.
Hello, peoples. Welcome to Sharp Ends. I'm going to do a re-review, long-term review of this uh, bird and trout knife from North Arms in MagnaCut. It's, I think, the very first knife I got in MagnaCut. It's CPM MagnaCut too, if I don't believe, if I'm correct. Um, which some people like Survive Knives have been saying that they've had voids and other things. So I'm very interested to look at what's underneath the scales and see if that's true. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a re-review of this too. I think that this blade shape and everything they've done with this is great. And for the price, it's amazing. Um, and there's a link down in the description to this, and I think it's well worth checking out. North Arms also makes the Skaha, and they also make the a couple of other knives that I have, which are very cool. So check out their website. They're worth supporting. They're made in Canada, British Columbia. Um, the laser etching on this is great, and I've used this extensively both in camping trips and in the kitchen, and it is phenomenal. It takes a really good edge. It has a really good edge on it right now, very thin behind the edge. So I'm going to start taking it apart. Like I said, I've never taken the scales off of this, so I'm curious to see. I recently did a review of this knife, or not this knife, but the of the Overland, and which I kind of talked about the the whole Survive Knives uh, kerfuffle, if you will. And you can check out that review. There's a link that's already been posted above in this video. Um, but you know, on the review of the Overland, the finish on it wasn't quite right, and so it had rusted a little bit underneath the scales. And initially, when I had first gotten the Overland, it had also rusted. But this bird and trout has never showed any bit of patina or anything like that. Um, and I think that what we're going to find underneath the scales is nothing, but we will see very shortly. This handle is very ergodynamic. Um, the oh, there we go. One interesting thing right off the bat I can tell you is that this is interesting in that they have uh, a non-spinning insert here, which takes both sides of the both screws on both sides, which is interesting. I haven't encountered something like that before. Um, And now if I can get in here, it should pry off really easily. But it is not. Yeah, let's see. There we go. All right. Yeah, so nothing in there. There's a little coloration in there, but I wouldn't call that anything concerning. Not considering how much this is. I've never put this through a dishwasher or anything like that, but it is so far fine. And I don't know if you can tell, but there is basically no, this is very thin behind the edge and very thin material, and it is very good at skinning and at processing meat, as well as just like the most phenomenal Perry knife I've ever had. It comes with a sheath as well, which I don't have down here, but it's made out of Kyvex. And again, nothing here. And it says right here, the Trillium Mallard 2022. So that's when I got it. That's right when MagnaCut came out. Very cool. So very clean here. There's a little bit of oil on the inside here, which keeps it, keeps it safe. And so even if water does get a little bit in here, the oil will keep the water out between the blade stock or the full tang, and and that's great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use some frog lube. I'm going to clean this up real fast and put it back together again. And I'm just going to use some isopropyl alcohol here for that. I'm going to get all the oil, all the old oil off of here by using the alcohol and a little wipe, Q-tip, and a rag. And then I'm going to reapply some oil here. But this all looks good. The screws were very well set, and it doesn't look like there was any Loctite on it, but it felt like it, especially that second screw that I did. I really like that they included the name underneath the scales. That's a cool little detail. But this is now completely clean almost. I'm just going to get this. This side seems to have a little bit more oil than the other scale did. This is just G10, which is fine for this type of knife. I don't know if they do any other colors, but check out the link and you will be able to see. But I think that this is a knife that is well worth what it costs. And like I said, the guys at North Arms do incredible work. I have a chef knife, the Alder, which is also a very good knife. And the Skaha takes a while. You get on their list to get one, you won't be disappointed. The Skaha is one of my favorite flippers that they have. It's the only flipper that they have. In general, they're fixed blades, but their one lone pocket knife is screaming sharp and also very thin behind the edge too. Works really well. I don't know if they do this laser engraving. I want to say that they don't do this laser engraving anymore on the North Arms, but like I said, check out the link. So now in order to put this back together again, and I've left, and like I said, there's like these pillars inserts, so the screws go on both sides. That's a fine way of doing it. I actually appreciate it more than the, bolt on one side, which is actually attached to this, attached to like if this was basically permanently attached over here and then you just screwed in from one side. I like that they have this construction that's very cool. Going to take some of this lube now. Like I said, again, this is frog lube, but there's links down below to the things that I use to disassemble knives. I grabbed a little bit too much here, but I'm just going to take some and I'm going to put it on here now. And this will again protect the knife from water and other things. Another cool thing about this frog lube is, at least the type that I got, and I think it's true of, I don't think there's another type, but it has a minty smell to it. So for a while there, while you're using this, it smells good too. So that's cool. All right. And now I'm going to put this back together again. It's always good to take a knife apart occasionally, whether it be a fixed blade that is able to be disassembled or a pocket knife. It's always good to do that and just check it out and make sure everything is going okay underneath those scales and you don't have any unwanted rust and stuff like that. Like I said, this is a full tang, very nicely done. And I'm just going to now tighten these guys up. I'm not going to use Loctite, although sometimes I would, but it was so well put together and fit so nicely that I don't think I need to. So I'm not going to, because sometimes if you leave Loctite in there again, and chances are I'm probably not going to take this apart again for another 2 years, that Loctite can make it very hard to take apart again, even if you use the light Loctite. I don't think I'm going to need to, and I will notice way before this comes out. The reason why you don't necessarily want to use Loctite when you can get away with not using it is because you might accidentally strip the heads of the Torx screws. All right, so that's nice and tight, and this is nice and tight. So again, I've used this extensively, mainly for processing food, exclusively for processing food. And it has worked brilliantly. And for keeping it sharp, I believe I did sharpen it once, but in general, I've just been stropping this. Very well put together, small little paring knife. Um, Paring knife I had for a long time was made by Hinkle. I still have it, uh, but it hasn't kept a sharp edge like this Magna Cut, and it is totally rust proof. And it is just a game changer to have a really nice knife that you're going to process meat or food or vegetables or whatever with. Uh, and this is so thin behind the edge that I use it for cheese. I use it for steaks all the time, like cutting up my steaks. Use this all the time. Just absolutely a banger. So I highly recommend you check out the North Arms. This is a re-review of this knife, obviously. I did original review of this, and I liked it then, and I like it even more now after using it for over 2 years. It's just a really great knife. So check it out. Thank you so much for checking out my stuff. I really appreciate it. Like and comment. It really helps out the channel. And if you want to win a knife every month, get a chance to win a knife every month, all you have to do is become a Patreon member or support me on YouTube and become a member there, and you'll be entered to win a knife every month. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you next time on Sharp Ends. Bye-bye now.